What's up, YouTube? How you guys doing? Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are, welcome. COPPA, which I'm sure all of you are very aware of by now. There's a little bit about it, about YouTube and the way they're doing it, that doesn't really quite make sense to me. So since this has come out, I kind of have scoured through the FTC frequently asked questions site and the FTC site, and there's a few things that really don't make sense to me. 4 years ago, the FTC realized that there was this kind of audience video that wasn't just for kids and that wasn't just for adults. You know, that stuff that attracts both kids and adults. And they recognize that there is that middle ground audience, and there are things in the FTC's policy that say, hey, yes, we recognize that there aren't just for kids and there aren't just for adults, and just loading a video with a picture of your kids in it or your kids in the background does not automatically make it violate the COPPA, the COPPA. A lot of YouTubers are kind of spreading a little bit of misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation going around. It is not as crazy as it seems once you get into it. Now, that's on the FTC side. Now, the way YouTube is handling it is kind of crazy. With YouTube, you have to label all your videos either for kids or not for kids. And, well, they put all of it on us, yes or no, that it is or it isn't. But there should be that middle ground of, well, it could be for kids or could not be for kids. The reason that's important is this. What if you upload a video and as a creator you say it's not for kids and the FTC says, well, yes, it is? Then they have a program that will calculate what the FTC believes you made on the video, not what YouTube says you made on the video. On the site it says the FTC will decide what they believe your video has made. And then they have a calculator that multiplies that, and they haven't disclosed what the multiplier is, but it multiplies that amount, and whatever that amount is, that's what your fine is. So if you're a big YouTube channel, you're going to get a big fine. If you're a small YouTube channel, you're going to get a smaller fine. Makes sense. It's going to devastate you either way. Bigger YouTube channel, bigger fine. Smaller YouTube channel, smaller fine, but the fine is still, for the smaller channel, smaller fine is still going to be huge. But YouTube had opportunities 4 years ago to be able to implement things to take care of this, but they kind of held on to it and gathered information from children under the age of 13, from children of the age of 13. The wording in the FTC is COPPA applies to gathering information from children, not information that might be pertinent to children. That's not what the wording is. It says information that is gathered by children, from their computer, from cookies, and things like that. I don't know. I just, there's a lot of misinformation about it. Is this going to affect YouTube? You're damn right it's going to affect YouTube. It already is affecting YouTube. It is drastically limiting the speech. YouTube is being very heavy-handed about it. When you actually read the FTC site, it is pretty broad in the language, but the application of it makes a little more sense than the way YouTube is presenting it. And it shouldn't be a yes for kids, no for kids, because, I mean, what if some bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. is watching the video and, I don't know, I have I have a large Star Wars collection. I mean, what if, I have a Star Wars cup or one of my things appears in the video? Does that mean that that guy's going to look at it and he's going to say, well, okay, I think this is meant for kids? This isn't a millennial or anybody who is apt. This is somebody in Washington, D.C. who may not know anything about online activities or things like that, deciding if the video is or isn't directed towards children. It's a little confusing. I mean, once you read the FTC site, then you go to YouTube's policies. I'm just like, they couldn't possibly have made it more confusing than it already is. They really couldn't have. Oh, YouTube. Freedom of speech. Just by saying those two words, freedom of speech, this video will be limited on ads. And I know that because I uploaded a video not that long ago called News If YouTube Got Its Way. And in that video, I literally said nothing but puppy dog tails and rainbows, and this thing happened over there, but I can't report on it because YouTube won't let me. And the only thing I said was freedom of speech, and it was labeled as unsuitable for all advertisers. And the only thing I said in that was freedom of speech. We're going a little bit overboard with this. I understand the protection of our children. I do. I understand. But this fainting couch crap, in case you don't know what the fainting couch is, it's the, whoa, and then the woman faints on the couch. Won't please somebody think of the children? Yes, the children. But then people are using that as a political battering ram to get their way. And they're using your children to affect policy. And it's limiting things. And once you complete this step, it gets so much easier to complete the next step. It's like boiling a frog. You throw it in boiling water, it's going to jump out. But you put it in warm water and you slowly bring up the boil. What happens is the water gets hot. If you stay in a sauna too long, your body, your blood pressure goes up and you get weighty. Well, the frog, as the temperature gradually gets up, it gets to the point where it's past the point where it can jump out because its blood pressure is already up. It's not because the frog doesn't know the water's boiling. The frog can tell that the water's getting hotter. It's just when you bring it gradually up, you've raised the frog's blood pressure, and it gets to that point where if you stay in a sauna or a hot tub too long, you will die. It's just science. Anyways. COPPA. It's a big deal and it's not a big deal all at the same time. And it shouldn't be a big deal, and it should never have been a big deal, and it should have been addressed in the beginning. And the onus shouldn't have been put solely on the creators of yes or no with such vague stuff on YouTube as saying they were going to flag videos with the word duh and the word cool in it. What? People of all ages use those words. That's too loose a definition. Anyways, I was watching videos. People are still freaked out about COPPA. I wanted to kind of disseminate what I had read on it. And quite honestly, the worst part about COPPA is how YouTube is handling it. The FTC's rules are pretty vague, but the application of it is a little bit better, the way they word how it will be applicated. It's basically information gathered from children. It's not really directed to have toys and things. Basically what YouTube is saying is we're going to collect information. If you flag it that it's for children, then we're not going to collect the information. If you don't flag it for children and it is meant for children, and we gather the information because we say that you said that it wasn't meant for children, then you're in trouble. That's basically what it is. If you have a toy in your video, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is directed towards children. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to pay a fine. If you have an animated avatar for your video, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to pay a fine. What it means is that YouTube is saying we are passing the onus because we're going to collect information on any video that is not marked for children. If you mark it not for children, we're collecting information. If we're collecting information on it and then the FTC says that it's meant for children, then you owe the fine. That's basically where it stands. I know it still sounds confusing even as I say it. It does make sense to me as I say it. Maybe I'm just not explaining it very well. If you understood it a little bit, give it a thumbs up. I did a lot of research looking into the FTC, so if I could just get a thumbs up for all that effort I did. It was a lot of dry reading. Inform yourselves, and I'll try to keep you guys informed as well. I love you guys. You guys are beautiful. You guys are worthwhile. You guys are awesome. You know that? Totally awesome. All right. I love you guys. I will see you guys on the next one, and peace out from now, but don't freak out over it. If you have a channel and you've got an avatar or something that's animated, don't automatically freak out. Inform yourself. Maybe be prepared to change your business model if you have to. But we'll see what happens. I love you guys. I will see you on the next one.